Good Boy is a horror film whose concept I find to be really interesting. It's a horror film from the perspective of a dog. Not a POV, it's not Cloverfield from the eyes of a dog like that episode of Rugrats with Spike. It is a horror film where the dog is the main character and you follow all of what happens and unfolds from that character. And I just saw it. It's really good. I'm happy to say that it is a very solid film that I think utilized its concept really well. It's a gimmick that doesn't fall flat. It actually just feels like it elevates a very tense haunting. Now, admittedly, the story isn't the most, innovative piece when it comes to its narrative. It's not trying to reinvent the condom or anything. While it seems like it's just a pretty standard haunted house movie, it does have its own spin on it that changes. I've been getting into spoilers for so many of these things, but for this one I'm going to avoid it. It does do something a little different with the concept and caters it more to a deeper meaning, especially to a dog. I'm finding it hard to get the right words across without just spoiling it, but most of what you're going to see are things that you've seen in other horror films when it comes to like its scares or like its tension building, but there is a deeper meaning to it, albeit I don't think it's one that really is a game changer for a horror narrative or anything, but it's not like I'm disappointed by that. You get your jump scares, then your music cuts out, it's silent, then nothing. You get all of that, the same formula there, but using the dog as the main character and having that perspective does make it feel fresher. Like, it does breathe a little more life into it. And the way the movie is shot, I think, is extraordinary. I really like the cinematography here. I think they have some very creative shots that help elevate things that otherwise would be pretty stale in other movies. So, since you follow the dog, you never really see, the full face of his owner, Todd. And Todd is sick. Todd is very ill, and he moves back to the old family home where multiple generations of their family have died at a young age. And his sister really doesn't like that, so she's trying to convince him not to and tries to talk to him pretty often to get him out of there. He refuses. And he takes his dog, Indy, to this house to live with them, their new home together. The house is haunted, and there's a lot of spooky noises going on, and some kind of weird monster creature that shows up occasionally before disappearing and stuff, and it's trying to, get Indy and get Todd. And this entire time, you spend the whole movie following Indy. And since you're following Indy, you never really see, a full picture of things that includes Todd. So you never really even see his face. You get these silhouetted outlines of him pretty often. When he's watching TV, you'll see TV from a bigger perspective because to a dog it's much larger, and then you'll see some things out of the corner, and it's really cool. I love the way some of the shots look, and it makes it more tense. And I think the choice to follow the dog makes you naturally more emotionally invested, especially if you're already a dog fan. If you already have some pets of your own, you're going to feel, I think, a lot more emotional in certain scenes where the dog conveys so much. It really does seem fear and being frightened and analyzing the unknown. What does it all mean? And not fully understanding what's going on, with Todd and wanting to be there for Todd because he's so loyal to Todd. I think the dog actor Indy did an amazing job. And interestingly enough, at the end of the film, the director, Ben, is talking about how they made this. And Indy is not a trained dog actor. It's just Ben's dog. So him and his wife and his dog, over the course of 3 years, filmed this movie in 1 to 3 hour chunks. Shoot days. They filmed for an hour to 3 hours, depending on, how cooperative Indy wanted to be over the course of 3 years. And I think the results are extraordinary. I think that all that time they put into this, all that passion is very clear on the big screen. It was a joy to watch. And I think they really did a great job with Indy. And I think the fact that Indy is not some kind of like, Air Bud prodigy or something, like a protege to the Air Bud lineage or something, really helps. Because it does just feel like a guy's dog who is now experiencing all this paranormal shit around it while seeing its best friend struggling and going through so much. It just makes it feel much more real and a lot more sad in certain aspects, again, without trying to get into too many spoilers. I just think it really is a good movie. Though I think some people will probably find it boring. Because it's not a film that is like, fast paced, nuts to butts, scares out the wazoo or anything, trying to have you on the edge of your seat throwing popcorn in the air. Like, it is a slow burn. And for me, I really liked that. It's not a long movie. In fact, it's a very short movie. But that's not to say that it doesn't deliver a full experience. I was very satisfied with this, but I do think there will be people that come out of it just thinking that it was all just a one-trick pony, relying on the gimmick of the dog perspective to sell an otherwise bland horror movie. I think there will be people with that take. I'm just not one of them. I think it did something different, and it tried something new, and I think it did it well. Would I have liked to see a little bit more in terms of horror? Sure. But I think what's here is executed well, and I think their spin on it is something that will resonate with people that bother to pay enough attention to it, especially if you are a pet owner. I won't yap about it too long, but I will also mention that I found it extremely cute that they did the behind the scenes at the end of the movie to show you how they got Indy to do certain scenes. And I just thought it was so cute. It's no easy feat being able to have a dog perform in a movie like this. And they didn't try and force it or anything. They just did these short work days over the course of 3 years. This is a longer development time than a lot of Marvel projects get. And so I really appreciate that dedication to it and just wanting to build something special. And as the director mentions, this was like a family project for them. And I think they did a great job. I also couldn't help but get some Courage the Cowardly Dog vibes for certain scenes, especially when it came to how they lighted certain elements of it. Like scenes where Indy would be roaming around the house and there'd be this strong moonlight illuminating some very, specific piece of furniture as darkness creeps up on it. I did get some Courage vibes. Maybe I'm just, picking up on something that wasn't there. Courage the Cowardly Dog is one of my favorite shows ever made, and clearly the concept here of a horror movie from the perspective of a dog kind of fits in line with, Courage the Cowardly Dog and that, but I don't know, it really did seem like there were moments where there was definitely some influence there, which I appreciated. Regardless, though, I think this was a good movie. I would recommend it. I thought it was something new and something fresh that I hadn't seen before and was done very well. Anyway, that's about it. See ya.